What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode one of the Hardstuck podcast. I'm Joe, and I'm joined by the other two members of the greatest Modern Warfare 2 trio ever, Ben and Garen. If you haven't heard of us, that's just because we almost made it to Plat, but Ben was playing on an Xbox 360, and so we couldn't. But it is what it is, and we keep going. Before we get into what we're going to be speaking about today, I just want to check, Garen, Ben, how you guys doing? Everything going well?
Yo, so not subliners anymore, but C9 cooked last night. It
They
was
did.
against LAG, so it's like it's a whatever team, yeah. But Sib with the 1.89 KE, so something crazy like that. It's, can't
Yeah.
complain. Can't
Maybe you
complain.
should have called him up to your fantasy roster rather than Nasty Garen. But
I
you
did.
you
I
live and you
had
learn.
Sib. I dropped Sib for Nasty.
Mental. Ben, how you doing? You good?
I'm doing good. I'm not as prepared as you guys. I mean, you guys already talk about stats. Can't say that I've watched as many games as you guys, and the time difference is killer over here in Taiwan. But I actually put Estriel. I subbed out, who did I sub out? Gwyn for my fantasy roster. Pretty sure I took him out of my
Yeah.
roster and put Estriel in. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Okay. But your boy Scrap was cooking last night, so he'll boost your stats for
Mm.
sure.
I haven't checked the fantasy at all.
You're
For
already
sure.
beating Garen. You're 6-4 up, so don't worry.
But it's still
It's
early.
still early. It's still early. Okay. So I think the first thing we're going to speak about is just first of all, we got to shout out the boys, LA Thieves and Vancouver Surge for the absolute banger of a final that they put on for us for Minor One. Obviously, I'm representing the boys. Super happy about it. I mean, Game 7, Skyline, a little bit of a redemption story there. And luckily, we finally clutched up and won. I know it's only minor two, but super excited going into the major, and the boys are looking good. So, yeah, it was a great series.
The boy Hydra was cooking. It's like steal of the fantasy, if you ask me. I don't know how it went so low, but clearly it's not producing any wins.
Yeah, I mean, I think not only was they like the Thieves winning and stuff was good, but I mean, Hydra's really coming to his own. I feel like we're really playing well as a team. And I mean, yeah, I didn't expect to go up against Surge in the final, but I mean, it was a tougher series. I mean, I think we trolled some of the maps, but it was entertaining to say the least, especially like that Volt hard point that we absolutely choked. But at least we went on to clutch up and win the game 7. So that was really good. Yeah.
But I don't know. Also, I feel like Surge still has to prove themselves on LAN. Like I think them being online definitely gives them an advantage against other teams that will probably be a bit more dominant on LAN. So they've been performing well, but we have to see how it translates to LAN in the next major. So
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, it's a good indication of where teams are stacking up against, I guess, with the minor two. But obviously, LAN is a totally different beast. We still have a bit of qualifiers to go through, and if they can prove it on LAN, then I think yeah, Seattle's top 3, top 2 team in the game. But
Hmm.
I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see with that. So I thought the first thing we'd speak about is obviously FaZe goes into minor two as the champs of major two and well, I mean minor major one and minor one. So they were back-to-back champs with those ones. And then they come into minor two and they get taken out by Surge, which was not expected at all in top 6. They didn't even make it into the top 4 of minor two. And so I just wanted to think like what are your takeaways from that? How are you guys feeling about that? Is it that serious? Is FaZe falling off? I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I think FaZe's momentum has been pretty surprising so far this season with starting really slow, then picking it up, and now seeming to slump back down. But like I said about Surge in general, they seem to have FaZe's number, and I don't know if it's just their play style or uh, them just getting better at the game, and FaZe was not really expecting it. But again, being online definitely helped them. And I think if they matched up against FaZe on LAN, it would have maybe been a different story. So yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Garen?
It was definitely a really close series. I think Surge just or Surge won in map 5 in S&D. So if I'm FaZe, I'm not too stressed. I still have Simp, and Simp probably the best player in the league. It's like
Oh, definitely.
Cilium, and the BZ. They're doing their thing. I'm just a bit worried about Jaza. I don't think he's been the most consistent FaZe member like this game, and I think he's definitely the difference maker. If he can find form and keep like dominating,
And keep
then FaZe should
elevating
be
them. Yeah,
fine.
for sure.
Mm.
100%. I mean, I I don't think it means that much in the grand scheme of things right now. Like you said, it's minor two. It's an online tournament. They're the major defending champs, so it's not like panic stations or anything. The only thing for me is after their major one win, everyone was talking about, well, FaZe, they're so, besides Thieves, there's no team that can keep up with them. They're so dominant. They were going on that win streak where I think they'd won 13 games in a row or whatever. And everyone was like, "Oh, how long is the streak going to go up for?" We're looking at their new schedule. They're just going to run over teams and they're going to break their own streak record and all that stuff. And then the first game back from Major one going into qualifiers was they lost to Surge, and so like they'd been so built up, and suddenly like they just drop. And I know it's easy to lose a game or whatever, it happens, but I feel like sometimes people are so quick on the recency bias to like build FaZe up to this massive thing, like, oh, they're unstoppable. There's no one that can really touch them, and then the first game back they lose, and then now they lose again in minor two to Surge, which yeah, I wouldn't panic about that either. It's an online game. Maybe Surge just does play them well, but it's sort of like FaZe can reach those peaks, but then and everyone's like, oh yeah, if they keep it there, they can be the best. No one can touch them at the moment. But as soon as they fall, like other teams are right there with them and can pick up from where they left off. So I think that's the only thing that I think about when it comes to FaZe, is just having that consistency and not just getting to that peak and then falling down again. Because I mean, I remember also in Modern Warfare 3 when they won Major 2. I remember everyone speaking about, oh, this is the most final form of FaZe that's ever been realized. They've elevated to a new level. They're so good. They're untouchable. The addition of Draza has just made the team unstoppable with Celium and the Tiny Terrors. And then what did they go on to do? They lost. They got top three, getting taken out by OpTic in Major 3. They lost to New York in Major 4, coming second, and then they had their worst champs placing that they've ever had in top 6. So I just think sometimes everyone is so quick to jump on, oh, FaZe is unstoppable. They're so best in the game, and their peak is high, but then they just fall off and they don't always get back to where they were. So I think that's just something that FaZe needs to be aware of. And also, I don't want to hear too much recency bias about FaZe is unstoppable when it's just one tournament, you know? But yeah, that's just my thinking.
I just think that's the problem with the COD community. It's like a player or team will do really well for one major, then they'll fall off the next major, and then people are like, no way, no way. So it's like,
Who could
and
have
you're
seen
gonna
this
see it now
coming?
yeah. And it's like
Yeah.
you're gonna see it now with Kenny. Like Kenny's playing pretty badly. Not pretty. He's horrendous at the moment.
Which
But
hurts.
next major when
We
he's
love Kenny.
yeah, I love Kenny. He's my boy. He's my boy. But next major when Kenny starts shooting, people are gonna be like, best player in the league, best player in the league. He's gonna average a 1.5.
Yeah,
And then
and
everyone's
people,
gonna
it's
be
not like
like,
people weren't scapegoating him like 2 seconds ago. Yeah, no, I get it.
yeah.
I get it. But I mean, it's not just the COD community. I think that's sports and esports in general, but it makes me mad.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yes.
I don't know. Does anybody have any other thoughts on FaZe? And where they're at the moment?
Um,
We move on.
I think people really love to hate OpTic right now, seeing them not do well. But for FaZe, they are always quick to defend FaZe. When FaZe, especially in recent years, has not really had a great track record with performing in the moments like grand finals when they need to, and they can
Yeah, they
suffer
can
some
get there, but then they
quite,
can't come over the last little bit. Yeah.
yeah, quite serious losses. And I think because of how great they are during the like qualifiers and the regular season, it's easy to like cut them a bit of slack and not be on their case too much. And the same with Kenny. I think even though he's not doing that well, people aren't really blaming him. But if it was another player um, that people didn't like so much, they would not like if it was Hook really sucking right now, people would absolutely clown him for being the worst player and want him subbed and benched and stuff. So yeah, it's all
Uh,
relative, I think.
hmm.
for
I
sure.
might just be chronically online, but I've heard people saying Kenny's the main problem. They need to ship him. They need to trade for him. They need to bring Hoop back. But then it's like,
But they still love him, though.
yeah, I guess.
I don't
But
know.
then when you look at the, it's like Kenny's doing the worst, but it's just the whole OpTic roster. All of them are just playing so badly at the moment. But it's like when drops a point 0.9 and Kenny drops a point 0.7, nobody's looking at like Dashy. Dashy didn't play that well. It's Ken drops a point 0.7. He's the worst player. You know?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that's the perfect like segue into our next bit that we're going to speak about. I mean, yeah, just speak about OpTic. I mean, they're in such a weird spot at the moment, and I just don't want to like just hate on them because I mean that's what everyone's been doing at the moment, just hating on them. They're not figuring it out, they're sucking or whatever. But just like speak about, I don't know, how you guys are feeling about them at the moment, where they're at, and just maybe reflecting on last year with how their championship run and all that leading up to where they massively fallen off at the stage here. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that.
Must I go?
Yeah, you can,
I don't care what's happening with OpTic right now or where they're performing. I just want to know what actually happened with Pred because the situation is still really weird. No one said anything. He hasn't said anything. The organization has not said anything. The players have not said anything. Like he disappeared for like just a month, and they said, "Oh, it's mental health stuff." Then he comes back out of nowhere, and obviously it makes sense that they're struggling a little bit, but they also shouldn't be struggling because he was still playing the game and he's still a professional player. But it's just very weird how the whole thing went down, and there's still lots of speculation that maybe as an organization or player relations, they're not uh, on the same page or on good terms. So I have no idea if it's internal or if it's just Kenny struggling with the game, or it's the dynamics within the team just not meshing well together. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pretend and say that I know exactly what's going on with the terms of like technically how they're playing the game and stuff, but I do agree, like, since they had that weird announcement of dropping Pred and stuff, there has been like this weird like cloud of uncertainty that's just been on OpTic since then. And even when they brought Hook in and then just randomly released Hook after Major One and brought Pred back in, I feel like there's still so much weirdness and uncertainty within the team, and it just feels like they haven't really been able to get past that point. And so I don't know if they are going to be able to. I hope they do, I guess. But it's just a really weird situation with a lot of unanswered questions. And I don't know if that's directly affecting their gameplay, but whatever they're doing is just not really working at the moment. So they need to figure that out.
uh, a part of me thinks there's definitely an issue internally because sometimes when you watch them play, they just seem so disorganized. Like Shotzi will be, it's like Shotzi will be all the way forward, like trying to hold it, like pinch a lane as the other team's coming off spawn, and then nobody's there to help him or to like watch the other lanes if they go past him. It's kind
And
of
so
like,
if he doesn't get two, it's just he's on his own and it's
yeah,
done, and then no one else
yeah.
is there. Yeah. So just
Bench the whole team. Bench the whole team. Flip it. Hey.
okay, Mr. Opticator. But yeah, maybe. I mean, they should try something. I think they need to try something for sure. But I mean, it really does make me where they are at the moment. It does make me reflect on OpTic as a team in the CDL era, because I know obviously they're the biggest team, they're the most popular team, they have the biggest following, so everyone's always going to speak about them and stuff. But in terms of titles and championships, like I don't think OpTic has really lived up to that hype. And I really think last year's Modern Warfare 3 COD Champs win really like elevated them, or at least put them back into concession for like considered one of those championship teams and stuff. Because I mean, I'm not going to talk about Modern Warfare 2019 because that was a weird year. They were the Chicago Huntsmen and it was COVID and all that. But I mean, In Cold War, they didn't win one, and they couldn't get into a final at all the whole year. Vanguard, they won the first championship, and then I know all the injury with Illy and stuff happened, but they still couldn't win after that. Modern Warfare 2, they got 2 second places, but also couldn't clinch a championship and did not great in COD Champs. And then finally in Modern Warfare 3, they finally win another championship in Modern Warfare 3, in Major 3. But then they come top 12 in Major 4, and we're like, oh, is OpTic just going back to their losing ways? Have they forgotten how to play again? Have they taken their foot off the gas? And then they actually sort things out and they clutch up and win COD Champs. And so I think from the organization point of view and just where we view OpTic and the standard that we hold them to, I think that championship was super important just to remind us that maybe they actually can win championships and they're not just like a top 4, top 6 team, like they actually are in contention. And so I think that also made our expectations coming into this year being like, no, we expect them to run it back. Obviously, they had the same roster and all that. And now they sort of look like how they were at Major 4 last year. And it's like, are they going to get back into the swing of things? Where are things really going? Or they're just going to look lost for the rest of the season? And that's quite concerning.
Garrett.
I thought you were going to say something, man. I definitely think OpTic as like the reputation of OpTic. I think in what was it called before the CDL? The Call of Duty World League.
Yeah, just the CWL. Yeah,
CWL. I think if it wasn't for the CWL, OpTic's reputation in the CDL wouldn't have held up. There would have been like
OpTic is lucky they had the Dynasty team and they did win IW champs and they had all that backing from CWL. Because I think, if you go into COD League with, not that they haven't achieved anything, but compared to other big teams like New York, Ultra, and FaZe, like they haven't achieved up to that level. So I don't know if they'd have the same base that they do, but then maybe it's more about the culture than the achievements. But then I don't know. You're in a professional COD league, so shouldn't it be about the achievements? I don't know. Yeah. Ben? Oh, sorry, Garen. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's like OpTic as a brand. I still think they do really well.
100%.
But I think OpTic as the CDL team, it's like, unless I know they're going to bounce back. Because like, you look at Modern Warfare 3, they were always in that top 4 for like basically all the CODs. They're always in that top 4 section. It's just a matter of them clutching up to actually get the win.
Yeah.
So hopefully they get a turnaround. They're versing Miami today. So hopefully they can turn around then. This will be the top indicator.
I don't know. I mean, they haven't won a map against any team that's not the Vegas Falcons. So I don't know. I'm a bit concerned at the moment, but I really hope that it bounces back. Because I don't know. As much as it's interesting when OpTic is a bum team in the league, it's also good to have a bit more competitiveness and actually see Dashy and Kenny shooting. So yeah, but I don't know. Ben, do you have any final thoughts on OpTic?
I think in terms of championships, they're even worse than the FaZe dynasty. With considering the rosters they've had and how many times they've choked. Yeah, and they've just choked and not delivered. And I mean, Dashy has finally gotten one ring where he's been one of the best players in the league
since
and he's been on OpTic for so long. And I don't know, it shows clutch, shows maturity, and it shows dedication. And I think players, not the whole roster, but certain players throughout have been lacking those qualities, and it's shown. So yeah.
But I guess we'll see if the turnaround comes today or soon.
It won't. It won't.
But I mean, they're going to Major 2 to do their ring ceremony and all that. Imagine they get presented their rings, everyone's clapping, and then they go out instantly of the tournament and they just walk home. That's gonna be depressing.
Sell the rings and go buy a team in Marvel Rivals.
Sell the rings and buy another player and make it 5v4, and maybe you'll have a chance to bounce back.
Yeah, Kicks needs to come back.
Kicks got on the roster.
Yo, if the LA Thieves lose one more tournament, Nadeshot's for sure buying a Marvel Rivals team.
he's putting scrap in there, bro. He's like, no, you don't play COD no more.
No,
Okay, cool. And
wait,
then I think
wait.
yeah, what's up?
Oh, sorry. Before we move on from OpTic, can I just say Dashy is 50th in the league for hardpoint KD.
50th.
50th. And there's only 50 people in the league.
Eesh. I don't know, but he's
Seriously?
especially in the minor,
Yeah.
his hard point was looking rough, dude. Like I don't think that'll go on forever. But
Yeah.
But he was great in S&D though. Really,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
he was. But 50th in
Such
hard
a
point with one of the
50th.
sharpest shooters in the league is crazy. Okay. Okay. Well,
King Admiral, he's 42nd hardpoint KD.
Bro.
okay.
Your
Well,
boy Shotzi
praise
is
up for the
50th.
OpTic ARs because they struggling.
Yeah. Yeah. Your boy Shotzi, he's also 50th in S&D KD.
Bro, defending champs. You can't make it up.
Defending champs. I think they're gonna bounce back. But just at the moment, it's so funny.
Bro, they need to bounce back hard.
Bro.
Those are some crazy.
They're not even in bronze anymore. They're in tinfoil.
Cardboard. Oh, tinfoil one, bro. we'll see them there. Okay. And then I think just moving on, the last thing we wanted to speak about, this is more like, I don't know, viewing admin and just watching the league and stuff. I don't know about you guys, but the most annoying thing is when I'm watching, and obviously they highlight the players so you can see where everyone's on the map. And then they'll make, majority of the time, they make one player white and the other player their team color. And I don't know, like it makes sense when the teams are like, if it's a FaZe and Thieves where they're both red, cool, that's fine, make one of them white. But I've seen like purple and green teams go up against each other and they still make one of them white. And it's so annoying. Like it's the worst thing they could do. And they need to fix that. And I don't know how we start a petition for that.
What's so dumb is in the minor two for finals, it was normal.
Yeah, no, exactly.
LEDs, it was blue and red.
It was blue and red, and it looked
time?
fantastic, bro. I was like, oh, they're the players. I know which ones are not. So I don't know why they can't do that consistently.
This is an issue that's very close to my heart. That has caused a lot of anger for me, a lot of frustration. It possibly has created enough to make me not want to watch COD League.
Okay.
I thought Modern Warfare 2019, the greatest Call of Duty of all time. People can slander me for that. I love that game. And for one of the reasons is they initiated great camera views, third person, as well as the different highlights to see the teammates. And they were trying lots of different colors during that time. Sometimes they tried too many colors that they looked too similar or they weren't matching the team colors. So I understand why people criticize them for that. But then they did the exact opposite and always use white, even when it was not relevant. And it's like, come on, just be a little smart about the colors you choose. It's not that difficult. Look at a color wheel or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I understand if they're teams that have the same colors or their colors are going to be too contrasting and not work. But surely, like if you have a Cloud9 and a Thieves, like you need to put that light blue and that red in there to show it. And like, yeah, show a bit of extra things. Because I remember then, like not like third person views in terms of the gunfights, they were showing third person views and stuff. Like that doesn't work. They'd still show the gunfights as first person, but like when teams were running into a place or when they were setting up for a hard point or whatever, they'd go to like a camera angle in the top side.
An aerial view.
Exactly. And you'd be able to see where everyone was setting up better. Because I mean, it's tough to always like watch the first person view that you're watching and see on the minimap where everyone else is going and how they're setting up. So I think it was able to give you a new view and like perspective on how things were shaking up and how people were setting up. And now I agree, they've gone back to the bare minimum where they're just showing white and whatever team OpTic is. And then it's just like, I don't know, it angers me as well. Maybe not as much as you, Ben, but it is quite annoying.
People did not like the third person or the aerial view. People were like, "Oh, just show me first person. I can't see the gunfights. Oh, why they got it up in the sky?" I was like, but it offers a different perspective and it offers something new that's not just the first person all the time. They got some of it in Black Ops 6 sometimes, not all the
Yeah.
time,
Mm,
but they
mm,
do show it, and I appreciate it because it offers
yeah.
something a bit different. You can see the movement a bit more sometimes. So yeah,
Yeah, no, it's definitely good. But I don't know. People, when you're a pioneer and you're trying to show these new ways of viewing things, you're going to be met with a lot of hate. Hey, visionaries, people don't like visionaries. And Modern Warfare 2019, they were ahead of their time. People just didn't like it.
greatest game of all time.
Okay, there we go. Easy, buddy, easy. But yeah, I don't know, Garen, are you struggling to see the colors or are you happy?
Now
Garen's colorblind.
the colors annoy me because it's such a simple fix. I think it just goes on to show that like the people don't really care. They
Mm,
don't care about the viewing experience. They don't care about like the play experience. Remember, like this was still in Major One, but remember all the disconnects then
no.
and how frequently that was happening.
It was
It's
like
like,
it was like an hour and a half behind schedule, not because the games were
That
taking
I
forever. It was
yeah.
because they had to restart every single time. It's the same way
yeah,
the scoreboard will like not actively update and like people's KDs will go back to like 1 for 3 when it's like two-thirds
mm,
into the hard point and stuff. Like that stuff that you need to fix just for the
and like the
viewing
web.
pleasure and stuff.
Mm. Also, webcams they still get messed up every now and then, and I'm like, you've been doing this for how many years, and you're still messing that up. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I definitely think the league needs to take a little bit more pride and innovation with the viewer experience that they're providing for us. And I mean, I know it's
Bring
free
back
on
Momo.
YouTube and stuff. Bring back Momo. Real ones know that trash. That's crazy. No, but yeah, I will see if they. I don't know. Maybe we need to start a petition or something. But I don't know if they'll listen to us. But hopefully, we get more of Surge and Thieves where we get both of their primary colors, and it just looks a little
Mm.
bit better for our viewing experience.
Black Ops 4 remastered, baby. It's coming soon.
Would love it. Would love it. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys
No,
have any other thoughts before we close out?
Top
yeah,
20, top 20 greatest players of all time coming next time, huh?
Okay, we'll get to that. Yeah, because I know Ben's got some hot takes that some would argue are wrong, but I'm sure
I'm
he'll
pretty sure
defend
my
them.
list is perfect. I'm pretty sure
no.
it's perfect.
Okay,
I'm gonna
well,
have to do
we'll
so
see.
much research. Uh, if it's not if it's not like Modern Warfare 2 and on, I have no clue.
Garrett's like,
Who's this guy?
top 20 Modern Warfare 2 players? Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that.
Boys, Hydro not number one.
He's my number
Yeah.
one.
In our hearts every time. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's going to conclude us to and bring us to the end of episode 1. I hope everyone enjoyed watching, and yeah, whether you agree or disagree with us, let us know. But thanks, Ben and Garen. It was good fun. And yeah, boys, keep that gunny hot because the chally's always going to be there. Eh?
Pop the daddy, go for the chally.
Come on, gang.
Yeah.
Catch you next time. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, thanks, bye.